Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next narrative poem. This poem is Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. And it's okay that as we read through this, some of the words may not make sense. It might not be familiar to you, and that's okay. But we are going to just read through it and then we're going to talk about the narrative elements. As we go through and talk about the narrative elements on the screen, I want you to take your copy of Annabelle Lee, which, if you turn over your Casey at the back questions, you will find your copy of this poem on the back of that sheet. All right, so get the poem in front of you and let's go through this. Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee. With a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in the kingdom by the sea. The angels not half so happy in heaven when envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in his kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of a cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabelle Lee. But our love it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever the soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. Okay, so let's take a look at the narrative elements here. First, we have our introduction where we get the characters and the setting. So, if you take a look here in this first line, it was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea. Here we have the time frame, many and many a year ago, and then we have the location in a kingdom by the sea. Okay. Now, if we right out here to the side, you're gonna write setting. Okay. Now, the next thing that we get are the characters. That a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. So here you can put characters because we get Annabelle Lee and we get me, okay, the narrator, okay. Then it goes into some description. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. And then we start getting into the plot. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle. So right here, you can put rising action, okay? Or you can put rising action and you can put plot, okay? And it goes all the way through here. Her highborn kinsman came, they bore her away. Here's our conflict, okay? So what's going on here? So we have a long time ago, there's a kingdom by the sea. There's these two people that are so in love that everyone is jealous. The winged seraphs of heaven, meaning the angels in heaven, coveted her and me. So their love is so complete that everyone in the world, including the angels in heaven, covet them. So here is our conflict. See here? And this was the reason that long ago in the kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle. So everyone is so jealous that even the quote unquote gods in heaven or the angels send this fate to come and take Annabelle away from the narrator. So her highborn kinsman came and bore her away from me. So it's interesting that they say her highborn kinsman came. okay? Meaning that she is highborn, he is lower class, she is higher class. Her highborn kinsman came and bore her away from me. So they took her and they buried her. A sepulcher is like a tomb, okay? And if you've ever seen like a mausoleum at a cemetery, that's similar to what a sepulcher is. So they're taking her away. And then he goes on to say that not even the angels in heaven were they were not half as happy as he was, and they envied them. And the wind came out of the cloud, chilling and killing AnnabelleLee. So we know that she has died. They did not bury her before she died, by the way. But he's just saying that the wind came and killed her. He's kind of reiterating what happened here. But then we get some um, of the climax here. Okay, so I would say the climax happens right here. Okay, so you can write climax here because Annabelle Lee has died, but our love was stronger by far than the love of those who were older and wiser, and even the angels or the demons, they can't separate the souls of the narrator and Annabelle Lee. So even in death, they are together, even though she has died. For the moon never brings, and so here, right here, we have the falling action and the resolution really kind of all in this last stanza here. So he always dreams of her. He always feels her eyes. He always remembers her. And he lies down next to the sepulchre by the sea. He lays down next to her each night. Now, I've had a couple of interpretations of this. Um, I think that you could actually interpret this as saying that he lies down by her grave, by her tomb, meaning that he actually goes and visits her all the time. Or I've actually heard um, some interpretations say that this means that he actually takes his own life, like in a Romeo and Juliet type of thing. He gives up his life, and he lays down and dies next to her tomb so that he can be with her in death. Um, so I think that there's evidence either way. But so here we we've gone through the different elements of narrative. So here is your second example of narrative poetry. And the next thing you're going to want to do is we're going to take a look at the rubric and the assignment that you have for tonight, and then you can go ahead and get started on that. So that will be your next link.